family. We had a little email list, and it was like a little source of income in college outside of working the hourly job. And so we kind of learned a little bit about profit and loss and how to buy and sell products. After that point, we all went to college, came back. I started working in my father's importing seafood company. At that time, I had the idea to sell fish online. I had actually worked on like an online shoe retail warehouse, and I was doing photography for them. And I got the idea that, hey, why don't we sell seafood online? So I had to learn a lot about seafood before I could start selling seafood online. And then this past July of 2019, we launched our online site, started going live, started selling direct to homes. And since then, it's been, a journey. And well, the biggest thing about our club is that we want to be inviting people in. For us, it's a real familial thing. We want to bring an experience to people, and that experience being food, but first and foremost is actually to be bringing people together. We think it's a big part of our family culture is actually to have, everybody included. We have two sides of our family. One side is the Japanese side of our family, and the other side is actually our mother's side, who was born and raised she was born in Spain and actually grew up between Argentina, Chile, and Mexico. And so we have a ton of family out in South America and a little bit in Europe too, but mostly in South America, Argentina and Chile. So big shout out to all the people out there right now. Saying hi to the familia, ¿cómo estás? But anyways, we've always felt like really connected to the food side of things on the quality aspect through our Japanese side. And then the familial, family, loving side has always been the Latino side. So that's where we always connected. It was always about having people together for good food, and that all created an amazing experience altogether. So that's been our mantra really in Seafood Club, to bring people together and eat that good food together. So we're happy to put something together for you guys, a little dish.
Yeah. Hey guys, back again. Okay, so thank you, Maddie. I appreciate that. So yeah, like I said, we're actually a family-run business. I run it with my siblings. So to introduce another one of my siblings, this is Sister Mika. She is our resident badass, actually.
Hello.
She's gonna
baby sis.
Yeah, baby sis here is actually going to break down some of the packaging. So because we're an online business, we're constantly trying to improve our methods of delivery. We're clearly trying to move towards more environmentally friendly packaging, and so we already don't use styrofoam. We try to use all recyclable materials or try to reuse. But that said, Mika's going to just show you some quick ideas as to what to do with your materials. So Mika, take it away, girl.
Okay, so this is what you'll get. Actually, it'll be in a box. You'll unpack that, and this is what you'll see. This Mylar bag here. It has like a thick bubble pack, but you just open it, and you'll have here your products and some gel ice. So see these just little reusable gel ice packs. You can put them back in the freezer and use them for injuries, for food, whatever. And then you'll get your fish. Open that up. Wash our hands. Corona. And yeah, you can just open your bag like that. And you have your fish here, and we're going to pat it dry. Open it this way. And here it is. So I suggest like keeping out no longer than 5 minutes. Otherwise, you can just pop it in the fridge and use it when you want to. But yeah, so when you have your bag here, a lot of people will just see this bag and want to throw it away, you know, but there's actually a lot of things you can do with it. One being, take your grocery bag, you go to the store, sorry, pop it inside here, and there you have it. So you put your refrigerated goods in here, ready for transport at home, or if you have a piece of Velcro, you can also put it right here, one right here, and close it up. You can take it on a picnic, pack your lunch in it. Yeah, feel free to play around with this packaging and get some extra use out of it. But yeah, back to Claire.
Hey everyone, we're still trying to figure out this layout here, but anyway, that said, Cookie, can you put these in the fridge, please? Okay, so what we have right here is a gorgeous Pacific red snapper. This right here is coming from La Paz, Mexico. It's actually sustainably raised, and like I kind of mentioned before, all of our species are responsibly sourced. And so that's kind of our crux. Everything that we produce or everything that we sell is as delicious as it is responsible. So you can just guarantee everything that you choose on our site has been vetted. And so that's kind of what that's really our position. There's so many places that you can get terrible seafood and you could get sick, and they recommend eating it raw and all sorts of things. Don't do that. Don't do that. Really don't do that. Absolutely come with us because we'll get you the freshest stuff that we have possible. Okay, so like I said, right here we have the red snapper, and we're going to be doing a pretty simple recipe with it. We're going to be using herbs from the garden and also a lemon, garlic. If you guys have that already, hopefully you have. Even if you just have lemon, salt, pepper, and garlic, you can have, you can work with this recipe. Most people have that around. But yeah, that said, so what we'll need right now, we have our fish. We have a little bit of fresh garlic here. We have some olive oil, and we got our salt, pepper shakers right here. But we are missing some herbs. So if we could send Brother Blake, come on through. Hi guys.
Non-stop.
There's a lot of us. All right, guys, this is Brother Blake. He is our another resident badass, also an incredible gardener. He is our green thumb of the family. So yeah, we're gonna send Blake out. Actually, if you guys want to follow Blake out, he's gonna grab us some lemon, some herbs right now. So Blake,
come on through.
So we hope that the connection stays good up here. But let's start off. First, we're going to start off by grabbing some thyme. And yeah, all of these are all herbs and vegetables that you can grow at your house. So for us, thyme it's better. I mean, we grow it in the soil. I mean, here, you can figure it out. It's just thyme. But we have another setup in the backyard here. We have a little pond there. We keep some of our,
Anyway, Blake out.
Okay, guys. Anytime that you're handling fish, and anytime you're handling food, especially during this time, we're take every single precaution. Anything that you touch is a potential hazard, and that's something that we actually have to pay attention to at all times. It's biosecurity is something that we're really concerned with constantly, and it's something that we're always pushing for and teaching people how to, about the chain of cold, and teaching about all sorts of things that help keep your products and everything that you consume at their best state. That's it. Gonna wash my hands really quickly. Okay.
20 seconds.
All right, guys. So, Blake, actually, can you grab some more herbs?
Yes.
Anytime you guys run out of herbs, go ahead, go to the garden, see what you got. All right, guys. Okay, so here we go. Starting off with these puppies, we're going to just rinse them off pretty quickly. Blake's gonna grab some more herbs, but we will start off here the basil, the sage, and then the thyme. Okay, so we'll start off with the cleanest thing first and then go to dirtier options so our board isn't constantly saturated and tasting like garlic. With our sage, what you're gonna do is, honestly, we're just gonna do a rough chop on all these things, kind of keep it simple. So, right here, sage. All right, I'm gonna put it aside. Same thing with your thyme. We're gonna keep some aside so that we actually can put it on the plate later. And we'll keep our basil. Make some ribbons. Okay. Can you guys see okay? Okay, so let's get to the garlic, eh? Alright. So, so right now I am currently in quarantine with all of my siblings. Side note, if you don't throw away your scraps, always make sure compost your goods. If you have the means, please, by all means. The worms love it. Your plants love it. It's really worth it. Oh, thank you, Bliggy. Fresh for delivery. Can you rinse these off for me, please? Thank you, Botan. Okay. So what you're gonna do is mince the garlic here. It could be a rough chop, honestly, and you could do maybe 4 or 5 cloves, depending on how much garlic you like, but it really does bring out so much flavor, both in the fish and also in the herbs. So get yourself, doesn't have to be perfect, nothing does. You're probably gonna digest it out tomorrow, so it'll be fine as long as it tastes delicious. Ay. Okay, so y'all, as Blake's getting those herbs ready here, I'm going to put this garlic in a bowl here, if you guys want to check that out. And if you enjoy, like I said, if you enjoy more garlic, go in full clove. That's perfect. For the sake of this one, we're just going to be doing about half a clove, and just kind of keep it simple. You want to put your herbs in here as well. So first round of herbs. Good. Thank you, Blakey.
Thank you.
Okay. So same chop here. If you want to put these to the side. We got some more gorgeous sage, some more basil. Okay, so with this, we'll toss them in. All right, keep it fresh. And yeah, it doesn't have to be thyme, it doesn't have to be rosemary, it doesn't have to be basil, or it doesn't have to be sage. It can be rosemary, it can be whatever herbs that you have available. That's something that we're kind of looking for here. Let me put my thyme to the side here. Okay. Okay, y'all. So, we have our beautiful snapper. We're about to go in here. So I will be cutting inverse so I can show you guys what's going on. Oh, I totally forgot. Before we do any of this, we should probably turn on the oven. Okay, y'all. Okay, timing's still good. Okay, so we have our beautiful Pacific red snapper. Okay, so for this one, what we're going to be doing is, actually, if you want to get on this side so we can just show them, so I don't have to awkwardly turn it here. Thank you, Audrey. Okay, so this is the Pacific red snapper once again. All right. So for us, one really important thing that we like to do before we process any fish or give before we process any life forms, we like to say itadakimasu, and essentially it's a Japanese translation, or it's a Japanese phrase, and essentially what it translates to is that it's just giving gratitude for the life form that was taken, and or giving gratitude for the actual people that handled the fish or handled the vegetables or handled, it's this transference of energy that we're fully recognizing. And so it's always really important, irregardless of what you're processing, that we actually take the moment to just say "Kitakimasu," thank you very much, and not just inhale it like a McDonald's burger. Like, that's not what we're trying to do here. So if we can just, everyone at home, take your moment, give your thanks and gratitude for what you're about to consume, and then let's go. Okay. You can take a longer time too. You can think about it nights before. Your food probably will taste better if you do. I promise. Okay, so first cut that we're going to be doing, we already have the snapper here is already it's already gilled and gutted, so that means the innards are already taken out. If you want to see for YouTube, the innards are already taken out, and this is whole fish. So the head is still on, the spine is intact, and there's a lot of bones inside. But what we're going to navigate around it, because the flavor for this fish is so delicious when you actually keep it intact. It's just the bones give it flavor, it gives it great texture, all of that is actually a really nice thing. So in order to marry the flavors of the garden with the actual fish and the miroir of where the fish is coming from, so like I said, La Paz, Mexico, we want to create incisions that go along with the fish here. So if you guys all grab your knives, make sure these guys are sharp. Dull knives are very dangerous, so careful with that. So first step here, we're going to be cutting parallel to the jawline here. So you see that it's kind of coming from this angle right here. So what we want to do is take it about 1.5 inches, just past the fin, right here. So everybody, can you see that? And with your knife, just make an incision, like that. Okay, you guys got that? And we'll do one more, about 1.5 inches right here. And gorgeous. And if your knife is sticky or anything like that, or it gets some junk on it, make sure always clean your knife. Anything on your cutting board might get in your mouth, so make sure you keep your knife clean, your cutting board clean. All right, third incision. There we go. Okay, and we'll go for the other side as well. So right here. How you guys doing? If you guys have any questions or comments, just go ahead and tell us. We'll answer some questions in the end if you guys have any. 1.5 inches again. Beautiful. 1, 2, 3. You got it. Okay, guys. So that's your beautiful snapper. She's hanging out. Okay. So for this part, we're going to put a little bit of salt and pepper on this guy. Okay, so above. Alright. What happened to this salt? There we go. Okay. Make sure to get a nice little even layer, not too heavy, not too light. And if you can as well, get on the inside. Come on, sister, help me out. That's what siblings are for. Oh yeah, open up. Thank you, baby sister. Okay. Can you flip her around? Okay. Okay. And let's hit it with the pepper. Oh. Okay.
No questions.
Oh. Side. What was that? Wow. All right, we got a all right, we got a fresh pepper grinder. Okay, and last side here. Okay. Cool. Okay, so our snapper is seasoned. Next, what we're going to be doing is we'll put this guy aside and we'll work on our marinade here. So you guys remember we had the garlic and the herbs going here. Only thing we're going to be doing is adding a little bit of, this is some olive oil. So extra virgin is perfect, or if you guys like avocado oil, those also work. That's a higher burning point. So go ahead and pour, I'd say 4 or 5 tablespoons. Okay. Okay. And just whisk it up here. Nothing crazy, just keep it simple, guys. They'll all cook down and marry really nicely once we're done. All right. Oh. Okay, and we got Brother Blake here with the fresh lemons. All right, let's put your, we're gonna put this little guy right here right now. Thank you, Blake. Okay, y'all. Okay, so we forgot the step earlier, but we're gonna throw it in now. Okay, so beautiful lemon from Mama's tree. That lemon tree has been here at our house from before we moved in. I think it, or my parents moved in. It's like over 35 years old at this point. So some beautiful lemons coming out of it. So what we're going to be doing is taking half of the lemon and actually putting it in our sauce here. Alright, if your lemon's a little hard to work with, go ahead, give it a little squeeze. There we go. Sure, compost your goods when you're done with it. Like I said, the worms love it, so don't be shy. Okay, so the other half of your lemon, what you're going to be doing is cutting it nice and thin. Okay. If your lemon doesn't stand straight, go ahead and just cut her off a little bit. There we go. And if you're like me, I like a lot of lemon, so I'll go ahead and add an extra lemon, both to the sauce and the marinade. So it's up to you. You can leave it at, the recipe calls for 1, but go ahead and add more if you'd like. Okay. All right. So to repeat, guys, what we've already done, we've got our herbs gathered, salt and peppered, our fish, let it sit out just for a moment. I'm cutting some more lemons so we can actually use them for both the fish and the mushrooms. And if, once again, if you want to add some more lemon, give it a squeeze and just keep it on the side. Okay, y'all, one more little toss up. It's all right if you get some seeds in there. Honestly, I don't mind the flavor, and also it's just kind of like a nice bitterness that that I think is kind of underrated. Texturally is not my favorite, but in terms of flavor, I think it's something that we really can play with. So I kind of tend to keep the lemon seeds inside. Okay, so where are we at? Let's put this to the side. Back to our pescadito. Okay, so grab your cast irons, y'all. Cute little guy going on here. So how we kind of start it, I like to make sure that the fish has a lot of flavoring on both sides. So to ensure that, I line the bottom of the plate or the cast iron with lemon. So where you're going to put down, where you'll be putting your snapper, I'll make a little line of lemons here. If you guys want to see. Doesn't have to be beautiful, just keep it simple. And also a little bed of herbs as well. This guy, this guy, this guy. If you have more herbs available, go ham. It's really sweet. Okay. Okay. And take your fish friend and place them. Okay. So, in this moment, I like to start off with the herbs. So I have a ton of thyme, so I'll put the beautiful thyme inside. So the aromas of the fish will be going from, the aromatics will be releasing from the inside out and also from the outside in. So that's just something to keep in mind. Anywhere you put it, the flavors will start to ruminate here. You guys can see. There we go, gorgeous. A little bit, the thyme is starting to flower, so they're just at the perfect moment. Okay. And then for the lemons, because they won't actually fit whole lemon in these wedges, in these cuts that we started, you want to go ahead and slice these in half, just like this, and slip it in right here. There we go. Just wedge it into the incisions. So this one's a little larger, so we can put two right here. And the last couple right here, and let's do one more. Are y'all still okay here? Hope you're following. Siblings, you guys good?
Yeah, we good.
We're good.
All right, y'all.
Looks
Okay,
good.
so from here, what we want to do is we can add our herb mixture, herb, olive oil, lemon. Let me get us a spoon. Okay. We love to use brushes to dress our fish and things like that, but it's such a chunky mix of herbs that we're just going to layer on top thick. So go ahead, just be generous, layer out, make sure all the oil is all over and all the herbs really get through here. And maybe put a little bit inside if you guys want. Feeling cheeky, go ahead. Okay. All right. So guys, this is, if you want to add a little bit of thyme on top, that looks really beautiful as well. Okay. And once again, if you guys only have garlic, salt, pepper, or garlic, salt, pepper, olive oil, lemon, any deviation of this fish is so delicious that you can honestly just have it with salt and pepper. You know, it's that simple. But if seafood or any ingredients that you're eating, if they're really fresh and they're really cared for, and if it's really part of, if you really have something that's good quality, and then you don't need to do so much. You can just keep it straight up or just combine the nice things together and you'll have an incredible recipe. But you don't need to go to culinary school. You don't need to go to Italy to get your vegetables. You just keep it simple. And it'll probably be delicious. All right, I'm checking the oven. All right, so oven is on, it's at 400. If you guys wanna see what's going on. Okay, this cute snapper, say goodbye, see you in a moment, love you, thank you, I appreciate you. Okay, and toss it in. Okay, so I have the oven at 400 right now, and we're going to be keeping it there for about, depending on, this is about a 1 pound fish, so we'll be doing it for about 12 to 20 minutes, depending on how hot the oven is today. Sometimes it kind of changes. Okay. Okay. So, do we have any? My brother has some questions for us. So if you guys wanna ask Matt some things, feel free to comment below if you have any questions on sustainability. If you have any questions on that, and while he's answering that, I'll also be working on the mushrooms. So let me put the mushrooms here together really quickly, and then kind of come up with your questions and see if you have any questions. If you want to know about sourcing, if you want to know about terroir, if you want to know about it's kind of like in wine. For those that don't know, terroir is like the term for like that you can kind of taste where you can taste the elements, the environment, where things are coming from. I think that's something that, and also in miroir is the version for food. So oftentimes we refer to it for oysters, things like that. But anyway, that said, let me do these mushrooms and then come up with some questions while you're going here, and we can kind of see. Okay, so for the same mixture, we kind of like to eat pesca vegan around here, so we avoid dairy, and for protein, we are mainly, besides the very select Wagyu beef that we have associated with us, we stay away. We mainly eat fish every night, if not vegan meals. But so in the same iteration, we like to make recipes that are both can be vegan and can be protein based, or animal protein based. So that said, we have these beautiful king trumpet mushrooms here. They're organic from a local farm and a friend that grows them as well. Yeah, so what we're gonna do is cut them in about equal sized parts and be using do the same steps that we did for the snapper. So let me just cut this out really quickly, y'all. Alright. So we have our herbs already and our lemons already cut and our lemon to go. And very quickly, however you guys like to cut them, honestly. I like to just have them and just let them be beautiful. If you guys want to see. Okay, same thing with this guy. So just cut these pups in half. And honestly, with species like king oyster mushrooms, they're so robust and they have such body that it's like you really don't need meat half the time. So honestly, for those only meat eaters out there, please diversify for the environment, for your health. It's really important. Okay. How we doing, y'all? Are we okay? Okay. All right. Okay. So our cute shrooms are cut. Aren't they called queen oyster mushrooms? No one? Okay. Okay. So got another cast iron here. We're gonna be doing the same thing. So I'll make a little bed of herbs here. And we'll be putting the mushrooms all over, so. Okay. And with mushrooms, a hot trick actually is to not layer them, and if you can, kind of give them the space. We all want our space to grow, and we all want our space. We all want our space to be. So let's go ahead and give them the space that they want. Okay. Okay. Beautiful. If you guys want to add lemon, you can do it. If you don't like lemon on this one, don't do it. That's totally fine. I like a lemon, so I'm gonna just kind of hide them, if you will. Just what looks pretty to you, put it there. Okay. That looks beautiful to me. Why not? Okay. And any remaining herbs that you have, you can toss on top. Then our marinade left over. And we'll be doing an even distribution as much as you can. All right. Okay. And once again, little salt pepper action if you're feeling it. There we go. So if you're low on olive oil, go ahead and just drizzle on top if you need to. There we go. Okay, and a little bit of salt pepper. All right. Okay, and we'll just pop these puppies in the oven. All right. So that's done for it. Looks so good. We have about 10 more minutes on it and about 10, 15 minutes on the mushrooms. So in that light, we'll pass this off to Matthew here, aka the Oracle, aka Big Brother. So.
Oracle. Introduction. Like the Matrix over here.
All right, we have a question. So how do you feel about farm fish?
Farm fish. Well, so there's always the debate: wild versus farm. What's better? You know, which one should I like? I always lead off on that with there's a couple ways to think about it. One of the biggest ways is that we're actually touring up in Napa, doing some restaurant introductions, doing some product showing to different chefs out there. And one chef broke it down in a way that just made so much sense. And it was, you know, I mean, as crazy as it sounds, he basically said there's not people out there harvesting lettuce. You know, that, I mean, nobody's out there doing wild spinach or that kind of thing. And so it's kind of a consistency thing, right? To get to feeding people, you need to produce things on a scale that actually works. When it comes to farm versus wild, I always like to think of the farms, each farm is kind of like a different vineyard. It's a kind of an easy analogy to put it at. So not all vineyards are the same, right? You're not gonna get champagne from France versus going to, getting a white wine from Franzia and calling that equal. There's very big differences between the different farms. We like to think each different farm actually has different standards. Those different standards are what separates a good farm from a bad farm, per se. And when it comes to wild product, we love wild product, don't get me wrong. It's a reliable source when it's there, but as many people already know, there's no new fisheries being discovered. So whatever is there, it could be sustainably harvested, but it's tapped as far as what it can produce. So going through that process, how I feel about farm fish, just returning back to the question, I think it's great. It's a great it's a great option. It's for the future. It's what's going to be necessary to create food on a sustainable level for people to consume. Also, you're not affecting wild populations. That's something to take into consideration as well. There are farms that are out there that don't necessarily do so well with the wild populations that might affect them. But that's why you've got to vet your different farms, just the same way that you vet your different fruits and vegetables that you're getting, organics, those sort of things. It's a, you know, a lot of things come into play when we go wild and farmed. Not all wild sources are good either, right? You have different accolades and third-party audits that exist. You have ASC and MSC, that's Aquaculture Stewardship Council, and you have Marine Stewardship Council. Now, those two segments of fishery are vetted through these different third-party audits, and ASC actually is in charge of vetting farm product. MSC is in charge of vetting wild products. So very strict standards for the both of them. MSC can be a 5 to 10 year process to get a fishery approved to the Marine Stewardship Council, and then the farms are actually a little bit faster track, and that's only because the environmental impact and those sort of things can be calculated a little bit easier. Also, when you put the two side by side, Marine Stewardship Council is it's just a much more international kind of thing, whereas when you do stuff with ASC, the Aquaculture Stewardship Council, is very much site specific. MSC, going for a wild population, you can have, let's say, a fishery in off of the coast of Mexico that is trying to be certified. Well, who's to say that fish is just staying in Mexico, right? It could be going from Mexico, could be going down to Panama, Nicaragua, even down to Ecuador, even down further south to South America. So you have all these international groups that get involved, and it becomes a little bit more of a strenuous process. But those are the different audits that are out there. There's also best aquaculture practices. That's BAP. They rate on a star system. So 1, 2, 3, or 4 stars. 4 stars being the highest qualification. There are different farms that are out there that are doing those things as well.
I got another question over here, considering the talk on fish farming. So it says, what are these fish farms feeding these fish?
Great question. So a lot of there's a lot of feed studies going on these days on developing a feed that does well for a marine animal that now could be eating different kind of terrestrial proteins and different things like that. We try to get away from that. The best product typically comes from marine sourced feed. So a lot of times that's salmon trimmings or whiting trimmings, a lot of wild byproduct catch. What will happen is these feed companies that do really good jobs, we recommend EWOS as actually one of them. What they'll do is they will actually exclude any trimmings that previously come from farms, so that they're actually exclusively feeding marine proteins to their farms, without impacting or without recycling and reusing the same kind of materials that come from the farm. So you don't have this recirculating nutrient system, I guess is the best way to put it.
Okay, and lastly, it sounds like for the wild fish that Riviera does carry, should people be worried about mercury poisoning?
Oh, mercury poisoning. Yeah, so it's a very, I think it's a very moot point, mercury poisoning, when you're outweighing the benefits that a fish has as opposed to even a terrestrial protein like a chicken or a cow. Mercury is in very low concentrations in the fish that we particularly sell. The thing that happens in mercury in fish, the way that it accumulates is dependent upon where the fish is on the trophic level. So when it comes to like a fast-growing species, like a tuna, for instance, what will happen is sorry, I lost my train of thought there for a second. So when it's a fast-growing species, what will end up happening is that species will actually grow grow through that accumulation phase a lot quicker as opposed to like a deep water species, something like a Chilean sea bass or that type of fish, orange roughy, those type of fish, with cold waters, slow growing on the bottom of the ocean. You have a fish that takes longer to grow. It might take to get to its juvenile or adult stage. It might take, as opposed to maybe 1 to 4 years, it might be something like 5 to 20 years. So then you have this difference in time of difference in time of the animal consuming different things. You could get an accumulation buildup there. What's that? Oh, fish is almost ready. Okay.
Get out of here.
Enough geek talk for now.
Get out of here. Okay, so one thing that we love Brother Matt, he's our, like I said, our oracle. No, it's really important that we actually have it's really important that we know the science behind it. We know all the sustainability standards, that we're responsible in every way, from the feed, from the location, from the species we choose, everything in that regard. And if you guys have any questions, please email us or reach out on Instagram, anything that you guys want, but we're here to educate. And we want you all to know everything. We want you all to be as educated as we are, if not no more, and bring us new ideas, or if you have species that you enjoy, by all means tell us. But we're really here to try to educate you guys, because sourcing is everything. And yeah, we don't recommend you just going down to the market and just grab, any old tilapia, because that's just, we know, once you know sourcing, then you'll understand why that is just not something you should be doing. Anyway, that said, our gorgeous snapper is just about ready. So if y'all want to come on over and check her out. Okay, where is she? Okay, woo, she's a beautiful. All right, y'all. Okay, so we got some, Blake, can you set up the plates?
Yeah.
Okay, y'all. Who's hungry? It smells so great. Okay. A little hot plate here. All right, y'all. So you can just serve it straight out of the cast iron, guys. Woohoo! Who's doing it? All right, y'all. Okay, and we have about 5 more minutes on the mushrooms, so just wait on out. Just hang out. All right, y'all. So yeah, go wash your hands, everyone, before you eat anything. Everyone at home, please, by all means, be safe. Look at that beautiful technique. All right, and clean up what you can, and who wants to take a bite? Let's check it out. Okay, guys, this is, ooh, she's beautiful. So you'll see here, you can leave it in the cast iron, no big deal. The lemons have already cooked through, the garlic is just starting to turn, the tail is crispy, everything. So what you're trying to achieve here is just a really, just a moist, steamed fish. Because it is whole, it's not going to get crispy, it's just going to be tender and really flaky. So if you guys, who wants to take a bite?
Matt does.
All right. Ooh.
Nice little belly piece right here.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Come on, Tori. Sweetheart, come on. Check it out. Okay, a couple more minutes on the mushroom, y'all, but by all means, dig in. Audrey, are you hungry? Here, we can take over, Cam.
I like these
How's
live
everyone
streams.
How's everyone at home? Are you guys okay? Did your snapper come out okay? Also, guys, if you guys, we're also working on a ton of new recipes and tutorials and all sorts of things. But if you guys go to our website, you actually can check out the species that we have available. So RivieraSeafoodClub.com. Once again, RivieraSeafoodClub.com. It's kind of long, but it's once you get there, then you'll know that you made it home. We have tons of different species. We don't have tons of different species. We actually are really selective about our species. We have always rotating about between 5 to 10 different species, depending on seasonality, availability. Our main thing is not actually creating stress on any one fishery. So we don't, although we have, tuna is a crux of ours, we don't just focus on tuna, we try to diversify. Not only is that better for your gut biome and just nutritionally, but it's also better for the environment. And there's no life if we have no environment. So we're just huge sticklers on making sure that we don't create too much stress. Let's check on the mushrooms. Come on. How we doing? Oh, they're coming in hot. Okay, 2 more seconds, y'all. Let's go. Anyway, do we have any questions or anything coming in, y'all? Anyone? Okay, great. All right, y'all. Hold on. All right.
I got a question.
What you got, Blake?
How would I prepare any raw preparation?
How would you do any raw prep? Well, if you guys check out our website, we have like easy sashimi breakdown, or we also sell like saku blocks. So if you like sushi and you want to make it at home, we have easy breakdown videos as to how to prepare it yourself. Especially now, please do not go out, obviously. That's why this secular Sabbath community is doing this wonderful live stream services and keeping us all entertained and grounded. But by all means, just you can make sushi at home. And it's really simple. And all you do is watch our website, follow along, and from there you can make incredible meals for your family, loved ones, even for yourself, because that's the moment right now. All right, I think we're ready with the mushrooms, y'all. Who's excited? No. Oh, beautiful. All right. So these puppies are coming out sizzling. Oh. Woo! Beautiful. King Trumpet mushroom. Okay. So this is our vegan alternative. All right. So we're using all the same ingredients for both the snapper and for the mushrooms. This obviously can work for potatoes. It can work for sweet potatoes. It can work for, if you like okra, any herb or vegetable or any vegetables that you have at home. Keep it simple. Don't leave your house and just enjoy. All right. Okay, Secular Sabbath community. Once again, visit RivieraSeafoodClub.com. Support my siblings and I. We are taking every single precaution to make sure that we're sending. Come on, guys, come through. Maddie, what are you doing? We're doing everything in our power. We're working with the skeleton crew. This is our only social circle right now. It's not grim because we're here together, but take a time, enjoy a meal with your family, and take this. You can try it, and take this time to really look within and figure out, what you're supposed to be doing. We're having this reset for a wild reason, but talk to the people you love and do things you love.
Read a book, go outside, go for a run, or maybe don't go outside, run in place, I don't know.
It's a great time to
Get your
start gardening.
activity.
Do a lot of deep breathing.
That's right.
Yeah,
It's true. It's actually true.
And watch Secular Sabbath, they're incredible.
Absolutely.
We love you guys. Thank you. Shout out to Jen.
Thank you.
And thank you guys so much for
Stay
this opportunity. Stay safe. We love you.
Love y'all.
Bye.